So the holidays are upon us, and it's time for some sweet treats or some delicious breakfast items that we can have either at breakfast or any time of day. So let me show you guys how to get into these delicious cinnamon rolls. Let's hop into today's video. All right, welcome back, guys. So the first thing we want to go ahead and do is pretty much work on our yeast, because without this we have no cinnamon roll. So to a bowl of warm water, and when I say warm water, you want it to be where it is at room temperature, where you can actually take a bath with this and don't burn up yourself, you hear? So I went ahead and I added a quarter cup of sugar to that, because that's going to help to activate the yeast, and a pack of instant dry yeast. You can also use active dry yeast, whichever one, it's still going to need the help getting it alive. So go ahead and mix it up and mix it around quite well. Get the sugar well incorporated, and then what you want to go ahead and do is cover it for about 10 minutes in a warm place until you're ready to use it. Alright, so while our yeast is getting ready to join the party, you want to go ahead and get your stand mixer going. You can always do this by hand, or you can always do this with a hand blender. It's totally up to you. I prefer to use my stand mixer. It's easy, clean up, and it's quicker. So you're going to go ahead and add 4 cups of all-purpose flour to about a quarter cup of white sugar. Then go ahead and add a stick of room temperature unsalted butter, 1 medium-sized egg or whatever size egg that you have. Go ahead and add 1 of that, and then you're going to add a quarter cup of heavy cream. Once that is done, your yeast should be proofed, and you're going to go ahead and add your yeast mixture and turn on your blender. You're going to start this on a very low, and then you're going to increase the speed as it comes together until your dough is nice and smooth, and then you're going to go ahead and pop it out. So we started it on a low, and it's going to start to mix everything up. Now whilst it mixes, go ahead and add a teaspoon of salt just to blend everything out. Alright, now that the flour is in, now increase your speed. Alright, so halfway through, guys, you're going to want to raise it up, scrape the edges, and then let it spin again, just to make sure all the flour and everything is well incorporated, and then let it spin again. So after a little while and your dough is ready, you're going to go ahead and put a little bit of flour on your surface. This is what your dough is looking like, so you want to go ahead and scrape it out onto your rolling surface. Take it all the way out of the pan. Alright, and now what you want to do is go ahead and just pretty much knead your dough. Make sure all the dough is off your hands and so forth. But just go ahead and knead your dough until it gets to a very nice. Make sure you're doing this with very clean hands. Just keep it, pull it towards you. Push it back with your heel of your hand. So just keep doing that. All right, guys. So you want to knead it. Once it becomes a nice smooth dough like this, put it in a bowl, cover it, let it rise. So it's been about an hour, so our dough has officially doubled in size. So with a clean hand, you want to go ahead and best feeling ever. Punch the dough down, and we're gonna start to roll this out. But let's work on our cinnamon sugar. So here I have about a cup of brown sugar, and to that you want to add a couple tablespoons of cinnamon. All right, so go ahead and add a few tablespoons of sugar. Oh, I'm sorry, cinnamon. And then you want to go ahead and mix that up all the way in and make sure everybody has a cinnamon sugar. All right, so once you roll out your dough, you want to roll this in a evenly shaped rectangular kind of dough. And this can be done 2 ways. I like to take the butter and spread it all over my dough before adding my cinnamon sugar, but you can also melt the butter and then whisk that in with the sugar, the cinnamon sugar, and then put it as a paste. I prefer it this way because to me it gives that cinnamon kind of taste. But it's totally up to you. So go ahead and spread the butter all over your dough. And then what you want to do is spread your sugar. All right, so now our cinnamon sugar is all over the dough. Now it's time to roll. Now the secret about rolling this dough, guys, is to make sure that you have the swirls that you're looking for, that we know and love when we buy cinnamon sugar. So the way to do that is once you roll your dough, you want to pull it back towards you a little bit to tighten it, okay? All right, so once you roll your dough very tightly, don't worry about it. If it looks kind of lumpy or whatever, it should be nice and full log-like. if that makes sense. Anyways, so you want to go ahead and cut this, preferably using string, or you can use dental floss to get that even swirl. So you see how these are nicely swirled out here. That one log gave me about 9 cinnamon rolls. So I'm gonna cover this and let this rise again for an additional 30 minutes before we pop it into the oven. Once it rises, you're gonna go ahead and pop it in at 350 for 18 minutes. All right, after 30 minutes, as you guys can see, it puffed up and you can see it starts to ooze out the cinnamon sugar because it's starting to melt down. Pop this in the oven at 350 degrees for about 18 minutes. After that, you should have your golden brown cinnamon roll that you normally would see. So let's go ahead and pop this one into the oven, and then let's go ahead and get into the frosting that goes on top of cinnamon rolls. All right, so for the frosting, guys, it's pretty simple. So we're gonna use a stick of unsalted room temperature butter, and you're gonna go ahead and just whisk that up for a little bit just to give it some air. Once that's done, I went ahead and added 2 cups of powdered sugar, and this is just based off of the measurements that I'm doing for how many cinnamon rolls that I'm going to be icing. So you want to go ahead and add that in and pour in a couple tablespoons of heavy cream. You can also use milk if you don't have heavy cream. That's quite fine. Don't worry, I'll leave the exact measurements in the description box down below. Now, once you have that in, go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract and just pretty much let it whisk until it gets nice and fluffy. And that is it. That's literally it. This is the frosting for the cinnamon roll. All right, guys, so after about 18 minutes in the oven, I went ahead and I took it out and I let it rest and cool for an additional 10 minutes before adding my frosting to it. And this is what we're looking like. Delicious, nicely golden brown cinnamon rolls. This is my recipe on how I make them, guys. You can try it and let me know how you like it, how it came out for you, and if you like it. But I do hope that you guys continue to enjoy my videos. Thank you so very much to all my new subscribers. Thank you to the ones that have been hanging with me from day one. I really do love and appreciate you guys. And until next time, you know the slogan, you know our motto. Please take care of yourself, and peace, love, and chicken grease. Bye.